got to thinking. Actually, I'm going to start this way. I was watching a YouTube video not too long ago, probably like 3 days ago, where I seen one of those Su Russian fighter jets, 6th gen, not maneuvering too well, and it was kind of like a free fall, slow circular spin, and that was the best it could do for maneuvering. I was like, oh my goodness. Then they showed the F-14 or whatever, 13, whatever we have. I think it's F-14. It was there. It's just all over the place, and it had total control. And it's only a 5th gen. Wow! I was like, okay, cool. And then I was sitting there thinking though, we've been trying to hold back Russia since the 80's, Putin. That's why when I seen you start advancing this third time, well, yeah, I think this is the third time in the last 10 years on Ukraine, I was like, someone's got to stop them. And I wasn't joking either. Because bin Laden was hired by this government back in the 80's, late 80's. I think it was Bush Sr. And he roughly handed bin Laden and his alliance of people to keep Russia from advancing. It was like $7 billion, $8 billion over a 6 year period of time that we paid that to them. And now we're having to deal with it. I mean, nothing against bin Laden. He was innocent when it comes to September 11th. True, just like I'm innocent when it comes to September 11th. Bush isn't. Junior, and potentially senior. Because if you think about it, that goes all the way back then. But that's a different story for a different video maybe someday. But we're having to deal with Russia, China, and North Korea because they didn't get their job done. And as you're seeing, Americans are faithful to the founding Constitution until death do us part, people. And if you can't see that, the founding Constitution and how Americans have taken it to heart, I don't know how else I could prove it, even to you, federal government. Not to be mean, from what I'm seeing or hearing and stuff like that, things are kind of wishy-washy within this nation. And the army is trying to help Ukraine pull back China, North Korea. That's like a limp. No matter what they do, it's going to be a blip on the radar of things. But yeah, we've been dealing with Russia, Putin in other words, since like the late 80's, just trying to hold them back from advancing, which they were trying to do all the way back then. Why do you think they federally, of the federal government, Bush Sr. in the late 80's, agreed to give bin Laden that much money to hold back the Russians? Because they were still trying to weasel their little way out into beyond their borders. And so, not saying it was bin Laden's fault for September 11th, because it wasn't. It was Bush Jr., Clinton. I can get into that little story, but I'll do that some other day too. Hey Clinton, what's up, punk? It's humorous as heck. I've been laughing at it for like 20, 30, 25, almost 30, well, 42 this September 3rd. Roughly, yeah, about 25 years I've been giggling at this whole situation. Actually, if we go all the way back to the late 80's, I've been giggling about this, like, what's some dude in a cave gonna do? But he didn't accomplish his job, which we should just hand it off to someone else, not what Bush Jr. did to him, because he's innocent. But he didn't accomplish his job. Look how advanced, well, supposedly, those two fighters don't go anywhere except for. And it's like a free fall, no control of the. It was so funny. I was like, dude, and then that 14 order comes in. I'm like, that's control. And that's wow. Whoa. And we still have the RS-71 and all. Oh, Nike. But anyways, now we're having to keep them pushed back. That alliance, well, for those that are willing to, which is cool. And the U.S. with the alliance, we're trying to keep China from, and we want these islands back, and they're not, and then North Korea, well, well, it's all of them actually. Russia, China, North Korea. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop there. But yeah, he didn't accomplish his job, which Americans are basically stepping in to a degree, to a point. It's not like the full angle of the whole thing, but they're stepping in within this country, trying to get back our freedoms and rights up from what I'm seeing on YouTube and hearing and stuff. So that do us part with the founding constitution, huh? Even you, federal government, they're trying to set you right by telling you, but you ain't listening. You just shove you aside. We're doing it this way. That's where you're getting it wrong when it comes to our founding freedoms and rights. Although I will say, our military is some of the best in the world. Holy moly, I'm watching some uh, like an effects videos. I'm not gonna say exactly what song that has the military demonstrating their combat skills while not really showing too much, but kind of. But yeah, wow. There you go. Thank you. Have a wonderful day or night, and good vibes.